Good morning, kids. It is Thursday, December 4th at 1:24 p.m. I'm starting to feel a little better. Yeah, I took some Dayquil, feeling a little better. Had a chance to go out to a local cafe in a little town called Amboy. Amboy. I dare you to find it on a map. It's one of the closest little small towns to Bravo Zulu house here. And I went because I needed to go out and get some Sudafed, get some Dayquil. Because that make me feel a little bit better. And then another reason is one of the residents here, a kid named Hunter. He works there. He's a chef. And he just got accepted last night to a culinary school. It's like a chef school. It's one of the best in the country. They only take like 30 students per year and like 500 people apply, and he got accepted. So he was really excited. And I'd never had his cooking before. So I went down there for lunch by myself, and I walked in, and it's just this tiny, tiny little cafe in Amboy. Very kind of old, like an old grandma kind of place. And there's a couple people sitting around at tables drinking coffee, having their lunch. And this old white-haired lady, waitress, says, "Yes, can I help you?" I said, "Yeah, I'd like a table for one." And then she sat me down and brought me a menu and says, "You know what you'd like today?" And I said, I'd like the chef special. But please make sure that the chef adds his love to it. And she kind of smiled and looked at me funny, and that was my little code to Hunter, because every time when Hunter cooks, I always ask him, "Did you put your love in it? Did you put your love in it?" And so as I was sitting there eating, it was great. Best meal I've had in memory. I had meatloaf, with some pea salad, and some squash and some bread. Great, great, great lunch. I was just thinking about how proud I am of this Hunter kid. So I want to talk to you a little bit about Hunter today. I was living in St. Paul in August when I got a phone call from a friend of mine named Tim Murray. And Tim Murray is the guy who started Bravo Zulu House. He's what they call the executive director. He's the guy who started it. And he said that he had a new resident flying in from North Carolina, flying into the airport, who needed a ride down to Bravo Zulu House, 2 hours south of the airport. And it was on like a Tuesday or Wednesday night. And he was asking if he would volunteer to do that. And I responded right away. I said, "I got him." And at 9 o'clock at night, I showed up at the Minneapolis airport, and I was just looking for Hunter. And I'm pulling up on the curb, and this kid comes up to me. I said, "Are you Hunter?" He goes, "Yep." "Are you with Bravo Zulu House?" And I say, "Yep." And I look at him. He's a 32-year-old kid, 33-year-old kid, lean kid, sharp-looking kid. And I say, "Put down your bag." And he sets down his duffel bags. I gave him a big old hug. And I said, "Welcome home, brother. Welcome to Minnesota. Welcome home." And then we got to drive for 2 hours from 9 p.m. to 11 p.m., drive down to Bravo Zulu House. And along the way, we talked a good bit. And he told me a lot about himself. He was an Army Ranger. He was with the 101st Airborne Division out of Fort Campbell. And he was in Afghanistan with one of the toughest divisions in one of the worst times in some of the worst battles. And he talked about how, he's had trouble with drugs and alcohol since he got home. And that he was looking forward to spending, like 18 months at Bravo Zulu House to kind of get his life together. And I remember telling him on that drive, "You know what, man? If this doesn't work out, here's my card, here's my number, give me a call. I'll come back down here, I'll pick you up, I'll get you back to North Carolina. If you're down there for a week and you say, I can't do this, I want to go drink, give me a call, I'll take you out to a bar and get you drunk. I've got your back." And a couple days later, he called me and said, "Oh, the house manager down here, he's driving me nuts. The guy's swearing at me, he's slamming doors, he's trying to pick a fight." And I said, "Well, what do you want me to do about it, Hunter?" He said, "I don't know, I just need to vent, man." Well, I called my friend Tim Murray and said, Tim, what's going on down there? Tim said, well, I'll get it figured out. So a week goes by, and all of a sudden Tim calls me up. Says, hey, Ryan, would you consider moving down to Bravo Zulu house, being the house manager? I said, what? You got a house manager. I met him. His name's Mike, that old guy. He said, yeah, Mike's not going to work out anymore. I said, oof, sounds like something happened. He goes, yeah, Mike's not a good fit. Would you consider it? I said, well, let me pray on it and get back to you in the morning. So I talked to 6 people, call my brain trust. My mentor, Rick, he's a retired CIA guy. My sponsor, guy who taught me how to not drink. A couple of their close friends, and then I prayed on it, and I slept on it, and I woke up, and I said, my goodness. Talked to my jiu-jitsu coach too, Fabio. There's a big change coming down here, right? Leaving behind jiu-jitsu, being 2 hours further away from you guys, being in the middle of nowhere. I'm a city kid. I grew up in the suburbs, just like Apple Valley. I grew up in Rosemount. I grew up in Apple Valley, Rosemount, and Lakeville. I don't know how to do this farm stuff. But I say, yeah, Tim, I'll do it. So in the end of September, I came down here. And in that time since I've been down here now, 3 months or so, Hunter's now 90 days sober. He hasn't had a drop of alcohol or a drug in 90 days. He's doing his therapy. He's got a job at a restaurant where he's a chef. And things are going really well for him. And he's starting to get time back with his kids too. He might be able to see his kids for Christmas. And I was just thinking over lunch today how proud I am of this kid, right? He did his part. He went through hell in Afghanistan. And he struggled when he got home, a lot like me. And he has been doing the right thing, the next right thing, the next right thing for 3 months. And to see how far he's come, man, that made it special to get to eat his chef special today for lunch. So yeah, where's Dad? Dad's down at Bravo Zulu. Why? Why is Dad at Bravo Zulu? Because of guys like Hunter. I love you, kids. Get to see you in, I believe, 6 days. Can't wait to see you. We'll talk soon.